Okay, there have been more brutal attacks by ISIS since our last interview. One of the attacks that really resounded in the Catholic community was the killing of a priest in France.
Yeah.
Yet, based on all of the Democratic Party speeches this week, they still seem to be treating the terror threat very lightly. What kind of event has to transpire to galvanize and mobilize all of the West to really take action? Something that will finally clue in everyone, including the Democratic Party, that, if unchecked, this threat will totally destroy our way of life.
Probably a terrorist attack on the White House when there's a Democratic incumbent.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what country Mrs. Clinton is living in. But when I heard her speech, and she was saying, oh, this dark vision of Trump's, well, regardless of what you think of Trump, if you don't realize that the country and our civilization as a whole are in some really serious trouble with some really nasty opponents, if you haven't caught on to that yet, then I suggest you never stop watching your Disney Family Film Festival, because apparently that's what you've been doing for the past 50 years. You know, I'm afraid it will take a successful terrorist attack on a really major Western symbol, like God help us, the Vatican or something. That will get people's attention. You know, the Eiffel Tower, London Bridge. I mean, and it will have to generate a lot of deaths. Basically, it will have to be to wake America's leadership up, the Democratic leadership up. It will take something. It will take a mega 9/11 to get their attention. And I think that our opponents are smart enough to know that's probably not a good idea.
Right. That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, and again, I don't know, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I suspect we're simply going to have more and more and more of these nasty little attacks because they're demoralizing, they introduce fear. But I do suspect that in the end, in Europe anyway, here, who knows, but in Europe, I suspect that the result will be they'll poke the lion a little too much. I suspect that the result of this will be regime change in Western Europe.
In what sense?
Well, in the sense that the parties that the major media are pleased to call the far right will come to power and will deal with this problem. And will deal with it in ways that probably I wouldn't like very much. But then again, I'm not living in fear of my life.
I see.
You know, I mean, stop and think for a second. This priest and two nuns and two elderly lay people are at Mass, and these thugs come in, behead him, stab him and behead him, and then take the other old ladies hostage. To be honest with you, if I were in charge of the security forces in France, those men would be on a strict diet of pork and wine.
I don't understand. Pork and wine.
Pork and wine are forbidden to Muslims. And if they eat them and drink them, they'll go to hell. So you know what?
Wow.
You pull that kind of stuff, you're going to be eating pork for a long time. And I hope Allah says hi when you croak.